It is time to Ask the Automan. As always, we are joined by Brian Bowersock from West Auto Group, and this morning we're talking about people who probably try and save a few dollars by saying, I don't really need that maintenance. Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. Poor car maintenance can definitely wreck your wallet without question, and that's what we're talking about this morning here.
So what are the things that people maybe try and save a few bucks and skimp on?
Well, there's all kinds of things, but really this morning what I wanted to touch on is the safety items, because that becomes such a big deal when you try to skip on something like that. When you find out something on your vehicle that's safety items, such as a steering component.
These are the steering components
correct,
right here? Okay.
Wheel bearings, things like that are failing, and you continue to operate the vehicle.
How do you know one of those things is going on you?
Well, typically you'll get a noise or something like that, or the steering's not right, or something just doesn't feel right on the vehicle. You take it in, they take a look at it, and they say, hey, you know what, it's going to be this to fix the vehicle, and you say, I don't really have the money at this time. Well, when it becomes a safety issue, you're putting yourself and your family and everybody else on the road kind of at risk. So that becomes a big deal, obviously.
And so it's really the ball bearings, the steering components, those are two of the biggest safety items that people sort of avoid.
Those kind of things, yes.
But not so much brake pads, maybe?
Tires sometimes.
Tires.
Brakes, yes, sometimes. So, you know, there's a lot of components, obviously, that depending on how worn they are can put you in a safety situation. And that's what we're kind of trying to make people aware of. Whoever's servicing your vehicle should be directing you, hey, this can become a serious concern, and it should be addressed, or the vehicle should be parked.
Well, how does someone know the difference? Because some people probably feel like, oh, my mechanic's trying to get money out of me. They say, this is a safety issue, you got to do this.
Correct.
How do you know the difference?
Well, number one, as we always start with, make sure you're taking your vehicle to somebody that's qualified to look at it, and somebody you can trust. And obviously you can do that through several ways. AAA approved repair facilities, somebody that your friend's been going to for a long time.
Referrals are always good.
Referrals are good. And just make sure that it's somebody that you can trust, obviously, and they're going to give you the correct information that you need to know. Do they run a drug-free environment? Things like that are good questions to ask if you end up somewhere you're not real familiar with.
So I know it can range based on what kind of part and what kind of car we're talking about, but how much is just some of the preventative maintenance that someone may say, oh, you need new steering components? How much is it if you do it immediately versus waiting until there's a bigger problem?
Well, obviously, if you catch a component's wearing out and you leave it go, it can wear other components. So it wears tires, so the price goes up quite rapidly. You can start at a couple $100s and end up at well over a couple $1,000s if you let things go till they wear out other components and put you in even a more grave situation.
Truly is a case of saving a few dollars now does not mean you're going to save money in the long run.
That's a true fact.
All right, Brian Bowersock with the West Auto Group, thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here as always.
You'll be with us every Saturday morning, but stay with us right now. We have more Wake Up San Diego coming up.